How you get good. Practice is how you get better. Period. Period. You may not love it while you're out there, but you should understand the results. That's like going to the gym. I can't stand going to the gym, but I understand why I go. Not much anymore. You just go. I used to do when I was really trying to get well. When I wasn't, I did 2 days. I was doing lunch. I was 30 pounds bigger than that, and I wasn't fat. Yeah, One, I got it to 190. Same height. All right, so let's go ahead. Really quickly, we're gonna do a review for a rhombus. I'm sorry about it. Isosceles trapezoid. Your exit ticket today is in this review. I mean, I told you what it is, so it's not really a secret, but I think I'm just gonna draw one up. I don't think I have any specific picture of one. Yeah, we can do this. This will work. We got a picture over here. Actually, pictures down. So what do we know? If we have an isosceles trapezoid, God dang it. I don't like that one. There's some theorems we learned. What are the things we know? Oh man, I don't have one. I'm wrong. So what do we know? Oh, and I got bad news about that. It's not a theorem, but there's actually another one too that I think I told you guys was not true, but it is true. Well, it's not a theorem. I told you it wasn't a theorem, I think, technically, but it is still true, and I will let you use it. We're going to talk about that today. But anyway, what do we know? If I tell you that is an isosceles trapezoid, what do we know is true? That's all I tell you. Say it again. Which sides? What do we call those sides?
Legs.
Legs. And which one are the legs? The legs are identified by?
The ones that intersect them.
They are the ones that are not congruent. Pretty cool. That's sort of cool. So they are not parallel, they are congruent. What's true about the other two sides that are called the bases, right? So they are parallel, but are not congruent, which is pretty clear that one much bigger than the others. So that's the first piece. Those are not theorems. Those are just like kind of the definition of an isosceles trapezoid. Oh, what's true about any trapezoid? What has to be true? Yeah, just exactly one pair of opposite sides are parallel. Doesn't, so this, for example. That's a regular trapezoid or whatever you want to call it. So clearly the legs are not congruent, but we do have a pair of opposite sides that are parallel. So that would, I'll just leave that there. So there's not a lot of math we can do with that except for one thing. What do we say is really the only thing? This time. So what's the only thing we can really do math-wise, typically, if that's the shape? I'll give you a hint. It has 4 sides. Let's see, they're rectangles. Gotta have every 4-sided figure has to have 360. So that's about the only thing we can really do with it. There's no other math. I mean, it's got to have to do with the interior. That's it. Now with this, we said there's other stuff we can do with that. What else is true in that? Oh, this, by the way, legs are congruent. Same length. Legs are the same length. So if we know something's in there, we set it equal and we solve it. We did that yesterday. All right, 2 days ago. All right, so what else is true about angle? Stop answering. Let's try it. David, what's true about angles in an isosceles trapezoid? Tell me something. I mean, look it up. Page 47, is that right? Page 47.
What do you say?
Is that right? You don't even look page there.
She has the paper right there.
You didn't lose the pages. You never have anything.
Now I have to.
Page 47. I get it, read a theorem.
You say.
The angle with true about them. Pretty sure it's the very first theorem on that page. Well, base angles. So again, the sides are the bases, the sides are parallel. The base angles are the angles like at the ends, kind of those sides. So those base angles are congruent, and these base angles are congruent. Here's the bad news, Chelsea. Not only are the opposite sides congruent, it is true. I don't know if I told you if this wasn't true or if I just said it's not a theorem. Either way, it's true. It's still not a theorem. It's still not a theorem, but this is also true. Consecutive angles are also going to add up to 180 because they're the same, right? Yeah, I said that's not necessarily true. I said but you were right. These are the same, right? So these are going to add up to 180. Well, that's the same as that. I don't know. Just because it's not a theorem, I'm saying you can't state something unless it's been proven, but we proved it. So I'm fine with using that on quizzes since we proved it out. But it's not a theorem. I don't know why they don't say that the theorems because this is not a parallelogram, so we can't use that theorem from the parallelograms, but they don't say that anywhere. So maybe we can still put in for 2 theorems. That's pretty much it. Now there's a bunch of math you could potentially do for this figure, but that's the concept. Legs are congruent, bases are parallel, 2 pairs of base angles that are congruent. And just remember, it's not always the top 2 angles that are congruent, not always the bottom 2. Because I could take this figure and rotate it, right? Which would change where everything is. So yeah, don't think top and bottom. You have to just figure out which ones are parallel, or if you can figure out which ones aren't parallel, then the other 2 are parallel. Just visually, like again, you should. It would never be so difficult to tell, or you would be able to tell. Normally, they're going to give you markings anyway and tell you which sides are parallel. That's how you know it's. All right. Oh, and there will be something on how to prove whether or not something's an isosceles trapezoid, probably. Kind of like on the last one where I said circle yes or no. If you can say for sure it's a parallelogram, probably going to be something like that on there. I'll just tell you right now, if there's only one piece of given information, you can never say it's an isosceles trapezoid. You'd have to know either 2 angles are congruent and you have parallel, or these are congruent and you have 2 angles, or these are congruent and you have parallel. Like, gotta be 2 pieces at least typically. So, I didn't have a ton of problems from the book, so I found some. So go ahead. Oh, that was weird. Right here, yeah, let me zoom out. Some of these are super, super easy. We're gonna skip those. I just gotta find the ones that were a little more like what you'll see in the quiz. That's too easy. Oh, mid segment. Oh wait, hold on. Let me go. I think it's farther down. We are gonna do a quick review of mid segment with some problems a little tougher. Yeah, well, next week it is. Yeah, next Monday, not today. All right, here we go. You can do 13 and 14. Actually, 13, 14, and 15. Remember, today's all practice.
Some of it we'll do, some of it we'll practice together. Oh yeah, actually that is better. We don't have
No, I
one
need
data.
it.
Oh, I thought you said coming better. I'll get rid of all that stuff so you can
Oh.
see it better. I'll tell you which problems also are assigned for the book, so you can practice. So that's three pretty good ones though, right there. If you have trouble seeing it, just ask me what that we can't see, but I'm confident. I did just look up the cut splitting all right. Nice, it's you.
And you know what? I'm so disappointed you for not doing this.
Well, that's because I knew we were doing it today, so I was gonna assign them today, but that's fantastic. Now you can teach all of those. I was just saying, oh, yeah.
It says somebody likes to speak in riddles.
In tongues.
I wonder.
Oh, don't let me forget to do the exit ticket. Like they didn't remind me in the last class.
They didn't want to do it. I think that's what it was.
Well, again, I mean, it is the easiest thing in the world. It's not much more difficult than the very, very first one you did, which was pretty easy. So these are because they can't hurt you. I mean, absolutely zero penalty,
Wait, what are we?
but you might get 100 on it. So don't let me forget. I'm putting a timer on. When you see this hit 5, you should be telling me, hey, we gotta do the exit ticket. 10:46.
No, I didn't think the one. Yeah.
30
First.
plus 40. I think that's right.
What are we trying to solve for?
X in all of them. Yeah, just X. You don't have to figure what you're back here or anything.
Well, I would just put them equal to each other.
I don't know. So we did you gotta know the theorems. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes not. I mean, if you think they look equal, then that's probably a pretty good guess. If you don't think they look equal, then that's probably not the equation. You remember our lesson from parallel lines in a transversal, we said we really only have two options to create an equation. Either they what? Either they equal or they add up to 180 if it's that. Now 360 could be a number because we have 4 sides. Well, there's a way to do it with that, but then you need all 4 angles. So using those 3 concepts, you pretty much can guess equations most of the time, even if you don't 100% remember them. Well, again, you look at whatever I don't know which one you're doing, so.
13.
Well, yeah, you got, oh, actually, no, that's a different one. So that is a theorem, which if you want to know, you aren't wrong about what you said, if you just make sure you understand why you're doing that. That's a theorem that states that those diagonals are.
What page is that? What page is that on?
I think it's that same first page, 47. It's the last one, I believe, on 47. The third one.
Yeah.
It says the diagonals
Oh,
of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. And that's all, these are all isosceles trapezoids. It says that at the top. But yeah, all of these are isosceles trapezoids. So you would need to know that in order to solve technically. Oh, I'm gonna do, actually, I'm not gonna do attendance. I'll just write it down.
This is one of the screenshots they need for sense line.
Yeah, all of these are based on the theorems.
I can tell.
Jacob, what are you doing? For sure. All of these aren't any on any paper, you just need paper. You don't need paper rolls. I mean, this isn't on your board. So if you don't have pages, these are even more important. Right? Yeah. Maybe.
I said pretty please.
Oh. Okay, be clear and light. Just because you ask somebody pretty please, I mean, they're always gonna do it still. Like, it might help, but I'm just saying, just make sure you understand that.
It's 20.
I will eventually, but I just want to get this. Oh, I should just put knucklehead.
It's the number 15 isosceles.
Hold on, hold that thought. Oh, wait a second.
15 isosceles.
All of these are isosceles. Yeah, oh, crap. It says that up at the top. I just can't show it, obviously, if I'm zooming in. Yeah, it does say that.
So you basically.
You would have to know that. You cannot solve this with what you said unless you know it's isosceles. So,
Look at the if they would be equal to each other.
what?
Like 13 each two always.
Yeah, that's the third theorem. You read that. Right? It says that in the third theorem.
I know this would be compared to this one thing.
What don't you get? Oh, they kind of.
It's the simplest case, you said those two people.
Well, yeah, it's actually not. So really quickly, they've messed up in here. This is why I don't pull stuff off the internet. There. Good catch though. Way to show me your file and see that kind of stuff actually. What happened? They have not put, so technically, we would say, wait a minute, that doesn't have a degree symbol, it's not about the angle. But they just messed up, that is about sixes. There's no other way to solve it if you don't use that. That's why I like this other company, but I couldn't find any from them. Wait, this is the other company, it's still, yeah. Yeah, they normally are pretty good about doing little stuff like that. Apparently not this time. So that's what like Gabby just caught too, so it should have them. Yeah, good catch though. So yeah, again, I use this one company, Cuda, because normally they're pretty good about the details, but yeah, they didn't have it in that.
Oh, it's just. I see how it works now. Yeah, but I'm a little bit.
Oh, or,
Just solve Rex, that makes sense. I don't, that's all I want you to do. They may have asked for something else. I doubt it.
oh. Okay, so what did we just say, 11?
No, actually, we didn't do this on, I got to figure out. Well, we did number 13. Wait, so that was correct. 13, we didn't do the other two, so. What number is the one on the corner? What was that? 40.
So that's for some.
Yeah, so that looks good for the second one.
Yeah, it was science. It was science. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I did that.
14.
I did the exact same thing.
The
Because it gets the same thing as 14, something.
How do you know the tag, what it is?
Good.
You're right, yeah.
We'll go over these in just a second. I'll go ahead and tell you the answers so you can check your own answers. Miles, number 13 was 6, X is 6. Number 14 was X is 7, right? And then 15 was X is, I'm forgetting, X is 5. So those are the three answers. If you didn't get those, go back and check your math. If your math looks good, then check your setup. Maybe you didn't use the right equations now. We'll go over them in like 1 minute.
How do you know, like, which theorem they use? How would you, like, you just wanted to just look at, how do you know that?
Again, it's a little tricky. You got to just go through what you know. Well, I know base angles are congruent. Do I use that? I know legs are congruent. Do I use that? And then just kind of work your way through whatever, everything. I know, I mean, one hint, not always, but most of the times, if they draw in diagonals, pretty good chance you're gonna need to know the diagonals. Otherwise, like if they don't draw in diagonals, and I'm not gonna use that one, right? So you just gotta kind of practice. That's why I say practice is important, because eventually you see all the different types of problems. Yeah, or at least most people. You guys all done? We're still working. Let's keep working for a minute. And then- Let's go. Do you need one? Anybody else need a calculator? I have a couple sitting up here.
That was fine, my name on it, that's.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm borrowing it.
Well, then flip, take yours back and consider that. Word, what are you doing?
I got the answers right.
Oh.
I got the answers.
So, yeah, no, X equals 5, so 140.
This is what cost you just enough not having an A in this class. You sit there and you do nothing. And you do okay.
You're not giving time.
But you, again, why would you not want an A? Do a little bit of work.
Let me go over
That's
this.
when there's nothing in control.
I hope you know he'll never stop telling me that. Every
Right.
single year.
Vicky knows about my expectations.
59.
No, every single year.
I mean, so much of on the college.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you guys, grades are not about college. School is not about college.
That's what I
School is about work ethic, building good habits, and problem solving is whatever you do in life. The more problems you solve, the more you go through that process, the better off you are. But for you, it's more about habits and organization. Because if you like this right now, trust me, I know, that's why I asked. You see this, right? You see what my room always looks like, but I never practice being organized. That's my habit. But you build a habit, it's really tough to break.
Wait, so you're not ordering?
Oh, really?
You just said that you were.
Hey, sir.
So.
Before
Something.
we-
Like, my son, what for your house?
One in the face, I really working against the word,
Is there something that you so have to leave?
Hey, yeah, you've been working, yeah.
But I just hope.
Fine. You seem to be getting it. You know, it's a lot to keep straight.
You post all your, what you did.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Oh.
Not everybody, but you know, the people that feel like I need to do that with, I do them.
It's special, what is it?
I look up grades, I check grades on people all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
You like stop.
Three and up.
A little bit.
It's three and up, yeah, good.
I don't go on your TikTok, though, don't worry.
I know, my TikTok.
Actually, I do have a TikTok. You know who created
Wait,
it?
you actually?
Do you know her? Yeah, Sophie created it. She's the only one that knows the log. Actually, she probably doesn't know anymore, but she's the only one that knew the login.
Oh, so there's one of those Snapchat. You make videos? I mean, like,
I'm in all kind of TikTok videos.
Can you find your account?
We did a tab the other day, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I do stuff like that. all the time.
No, you see some TikTok days with viral.
Did you really?
Oh,
You actually?
I was blowing up,
Blowing up.
blowing up.
No way.
Sophie, the
What?
very first one I did with Sophie, yeah, that one got tons of views.
Wait, what's the name?
How much?
I forget, it wasn't really a dance, it was like one super
What
quick
did you
thing
do?
we did,
What did you do?
but I did eat.
Oh.
Mr. Gill, what's your TikTok?
No.
He doesn't know his TikTok.
Sophie created it.
Mr. Gill. Well,
It has,
where is she?
I don't know what, I have zero idea what she named it. I have no idea. I've never even logged in.
Then find the location.
See, we did a video on her TikTok. Yeah, we did a video, well, you need to become friends with her and she, you know, they're all in hers. Yeah, we did a video together on hers. And then she's like, I'm making a TikTok and we can put it on yours. And I think she did, and she posted it. I've never been logged in. She gave me the login at one point, I had it, but I don't know.
Mr. Gill, she deleted it.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's not.
I'm glad you told me that. I'm gonna go through. I'm like, I can't believe you deleted our video. I went to my TikTok yesterday and I couldn't find it anywhere and said you deleted it.
No, we deleted that video of you guys together.
That's what I'm saying. So I can't believe that you delete. I'm assuming she deleted it from that deletes it from my page. If she just shared it or something for her. Oh no. Oh, I don't know.
Mr. Gill.
Are you finding it?
Broken leg.
Yeah, we got
something.
Is that's not the same one?
No, you're
No.
dancing.
We just did one. I mean, I wouldn't have called it a dance.
The girl with the broken leg dance. Oh, okay, here it is. Here it is.
Oh, that one. No, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Wait,
Yeah, yeah,
wait.
That was something with arms. I remember that one, like something weird with arms. That one felt really hard. That's not the one I,
That's good.
the other one was something where we did something,
Yo,
something like that. And then sideways.
wait, Mr. Gill knows how to dance.
You have no idea.
Not
man.
know. It's white.
I got moves you wouldn't believe, Logan.
White person makes her.
Downhill algebra.
Downhill
Downhill algebra. Right now. Right on the board. Board.
Not even.
Take a pencil out. Just do it.
You're not.
It's not. Just give me a mark.
Is it?
Go up there.
That's what you could say. On something super simple that's not a lot of work, that's what you could say. I got it. Just to go about outdoor mistakes. Okay, that's two classes. Right now, we're mathing. We're mathing. And 61 minutes. No, wait, I'm sorry. You need to tell me with 5 minutes left on that, so not 60. So like 56 minutes. All right, let's do these real quick. We got a lot to go over still. And you have an exit ticket. What's the concept on the first one? What's the theorem? First one, number 13. Isosceles, trapezoid, what's true? That we use in that.
Okay.
The diagonals are congruent.
There's.
So if we, and again, this one's not super challenging. They give you the diagonals. They give you that. They give you that. You'd probably all guess the correct equation. You just set things equal because that's kind of what you guys do. Just set stuff equal. And that would have been correct in this case. So that's the equation. You solve it by doing what? Yeah, it's two-step equation. So I'm hoping you, I don't know why I did that. So I had 10 and 10. So that gives me 5x equals 30. So that's how we got the 6. I already told you 6. All right. So that one wasn't super complex, and really anything with diagonals, since remember, these are not bisecting. It's not like a rhombus or it's just a parallelogram in general. Those diagonals bisected each other, which gave us more math we could do. That's not true here. So really, there's only one thing you can do, set them equal. Now though, in this one, there's a couple ways to solve that. So what is true about this figure? Let's go over some theorems. What's true? Without numbers, no numbers. What's true about unfold? Miles, the answer is Isabella. What is true? What is something you can tell me about this isosceles? You would have to know it's an isosceles trapezoid, which they tell you up at the top. What's true about this isosceles trapezoid? Well, the base angles are congruent. Any isosceles trapezoid, those are congruent. So if I know they're congruent, that's what allows me to fill in more data as far as numbers go. What's C? So we know one more number. Oh, the way I did it, I see.
Yeah.
Not the result, not the result, the process.
Yeah.
What about the other two angles, we'll say? What's true about the other two angles? Clear call on. Linnea, what's true about the other two angles, A and D? What's true, what's A and D? What's true about A and D? Phone the friend. That's exactly what she's doing. She looked around, she looked at Chelsea, she looked at Patricia. That was really funny. So did you get your information yet?
It equals angle A.
So they are also congruent, which allows me to then say what? What is angle D? Don't freak out because there's an 11x and an 8 and all that stuff. That is the measure of that angle, which means that is the measure of that angle. Why'd I do that?
Now you probably.
Romeo, why'd I do that? Why'd I circle those? Because what's in the circle? That is the measure of the angle. And we know what about all four of those angles, Brian? What's got to be true about all four of those angles?
They add up. 360.
They have to add up to 360. Any four-sided figure, the angles have to add up to 360. Any phones out should go up. So they have to add up to 360. So I just take what's in the circle plus, and I will do one more thing that I haven't really emphasized, but one of my strongest students, I mean, I had like a 98 first quarter and second quarter, messed up a problem because she did what I'm about to tell you. No, she didn't do what I'm about to tell you. I would circle down here also my angles. What was that?
Something fell.
Just randomly fell. I would circle them there too, because it's not as important probably when there's only four of them. But if you're gonna retake that angles and polygons, when sometimes you have 5, 6 angles, she missed an angle in her equation. She just forgot it. She had circled it up top and knew it was there. She just forgot it when she did it. She solved out, got the wrong answer, and missed the problem. Again, one of my strongest students. Everybody makes mistakes. So if you circle it down here, circle it there, I got 4 circles, I got 4 circles. Pretty sure I'm good to go. Now we solve out combine like terms, Was that 19208? Anybody do it this way? No.
Wait, you said 2.
Is that what you guys got?
Yeah.
Did you do it the 12, the Gilsey way? So oh, it's way easier. Yeah. But again, this is the way that if you get stuff confused, we've hopefully done enough with interior angles that,
That's just how I naturally do it.
yeah, again, I don't care how you do it on the quiz. I'll take either of them, but I think I'll see a little bit of both. So if I subtract 208, what do I get? 152?
Yeah.
And then what is 26? I guess X is 6. That come out right? 6 times, yeah. 120 plus, oh wait, no, that didn't come out right.
No.
What'd I do? Does it? So what'd I do wrong? Where's my mistake?
154.
Oh, did I just write the wrong number there? Okay, I'm sorry. So- Yeah. 206.
Yeah.
So that makes that 154. So what's X come out to be then? Is that?
7.
Oh, this one was the 7 one. I was thinking it was supposed to be 6. That was the other one. All right, so again, I don't care how, oh, the other way we said that consecutive sides, or also in this case, opposite angles will add up to 180. If you set that equation up and you just say 11x plus 8 plus 95 is 180, I'm fine with that.
Oh, now I'm sorry.
And here, I'll just get rid of that one real quick. So last, what's going on in this one? Still isosceles trapezoid.
Yeah.
So what do we do in this one? Same exact thing we did in the last. You could say the opposite angles add up to 180. So these two add up to 180. You could do exactly what we did over here. This angle is 28, subtract 11. That's 51. And then you do the exact same. I'm not gonna go through and do that one. Because it's the same problem. Any questions on that? That's pretty much all your trapezoid stuff for Monday. I think we've covered all the theorems.
Yeah, I
The
think,
only thing you need to understand, if, I don't even know if it's on there, I haven't looked at the quiz yet from last year. I might have put something about just determining whether or not something is an isosceles trapezoid. So kind of like when I said determine if it's a parallelogram on the last quiz, that could be something that's on this one. So just make sure you know those three theorems. Maybe just even two of those three. All right, so now let's go back and look at some, actually, tell you what, go ahead and practice trapezoids for a minute. The trapezoids is page, oh, hold on, I have it up here. Oh. Hold that thought. Because you're gonna do this problem first. Now. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Question. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. Never mind. That. Yeah, I think that's everything we're trapezoiding. So, hey, where are the pages? Well, I mean, it's page 55. I know where it is, but
Are you
I'm
gonna
trying
call
to.
a coloring book page like last time?
Huh. What did you say?
Remember that one time you brought up a coloring book page on your
Oh,
the shark smartboard? Yeah, the shark.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Don't say that, don't say that.
Baby shark. Now you're all gonna be seeing it right there. Baby shark.
No.
Shark.
You see the problems.
Yeah, it's-
Those are problems. Yes. You notice there's some asterisks by some of the problems. That's typically something I take note of.
Read them all.
She did. So you can teach it to everybody. That's a great day. What are you talking about? Horrible day. Man, you think math for hours. That's fantastic. So much fun. Time for you to watch.
oh, yeah.
Whatever.
It's not.
You literally have a watch.
You have a watch and you ask him still?
That's the epitome of it.
It's hard to like actually get to the thing. Where my-
I know, right? You gotta pull your sleeve back,
Oh, no,
your
no.
hair. I know you got a lot going on, Jacob. The struggle is real. I got you, off.
Yep, it's so hard.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. Mine's right there.
Somehow my watch fixed itself.
That's.
It was.
I think it's like the easiest thing.
Oh, you're, I'm so glad you said that before we go to kites. I forgot. Glad you mentioned it. Yeah, I totally forgot. Although I think it's next in the. There's some problems in that worksheet we'll go back to with it.
Funny. Or 13 years old. Miss English, like, say,
Yep.
It's out.
Oh,
Okay.
To ladies' restroom.
so my pass is gone. No, somebody is out. It's right there. Sort. So what are they for?
I think it's Dora, but.
Oh, I
Yeah,
got it.
I
Is it though? Is it really?
Get your missing. And that's Florida. You find that, but.
I don't know about that.
X one and. It's really so
I don't agree to this.
Show yo gabba gabba. Don't.
What?
Yo gabba gabba.
I don't do that.
I You're crazy. Equal everything.
What channel? I get it.
It was on Nickelodeon.
Okay.
The
Next one.
I don't get, they took away the digital channel. I do. My cable is through my, so like my neighborhood is run by an association, and it goes through them, and they make it, like, they negotiate with Spectrum on what, and so I guess in the last negotiation, Spectrum tried to pull a bunch of channels away, and they got some of them back, but they did not get Disney.
I only seen that on TV. People like, what do you talk about that stuff? I only seen that on TV. I didn't know they actually did.
No, they don't go to the house. No.
I don't have to show
How I solved that, but.
How do you not know how you solve your?
Hey, makes sense.
That's me. I'm not surprised by her saying that at all, because when I grade her papers, I sometimes don't know how she's talking. I mean, for a problem like 3 + 4, she should have half a page.
I write a lot.
It's like, it's just whatever's going on in her head, get it out. Get it out.
Used to take journalism.
Oh, I didn't read your note yet.
Oh, you haven't read it?
I haven't graded it yet.
You should read it right now.
I won't read it.
Yeah.
Read it in front of the class.
No, don't do
I
that.
don't
Read it.
think
No,
so.
it should.
It's a whole, did you see it? It's like the whole back page.
It is like
Literally
that.
the
It's
whole entire
very
page.
long. It's a very angry
Yes.
note to you.
Oh, because of last, oh, yeah.
Yes, the last test I got very angry.
Wait, yeah, actually, I did see that.
That's very funny.
Any tests I don't like, I write very. So you know
I did that, so I'm angry at you.
what?
That's the gist of it, but only it's a whole page thing.
Yeah, they're bad.
That's pretty funny. So do you know what you're running yet?
Whatever you say.
Do you guys even run?
So I went.
Yeah.
Like a specific race for the time yet, or you still want to do it? Training on positioning. That's Ludi still. Is Ludi still helping? There are 2 females that are doing it.
Just know.
I think that's in the coaching.
Ones that in this. If you brought, they're all square.
Yeah, Miss C. She's the assistant for the algebra, well, algebra and algebra 2. She's like the support person, like, I don't know if Miss Thompson can live here.
Only like 5 classes.
I've got cost calculations.
No, I saw.
You only have 5 classes. Oh, next year, what are you doing for the 2? Are you doing TA or work?
Yeah.
The work program's fantastic. I mean, maybe they had them out at school, I don't remember, but that's a good one for me. Okay, so it's dual enrollment's good, if you can do that, if you're planning on college stuff. Not, then the OJT stuff's good. So I gave you like 4 more minutes and then we'll do mid segments and kites. And then you can practice until the
Just exit to get this matters. I'm quiet.
You know, big matter, it's all your fault.
Oh, what is Dory doing?
I think I'm in last round for 170. Eight and D.
Wow, I get more lines every single day.
That's my
It really got bad when I started teaching.
Mr. Gill, we have a problem.
It's not really a problem, you guys think it's a problem.
Well, okay, so that just being solved.
Yeah, it was like a.
Use the theorems and the information they give you and solve, and when you solve, you should get it. Or basically just saying.
You live in your set of.
So what would the theorem be? You have to do everything else good.
That part.
That's a nice, to me, it tells you, it's a nice oscillation trap. the way it works like that. So what's true about, all that stuff is about what?
That's what it's called, That's.
So it's on the length of the side, so what is true, it's that big side. Well, which one?
Yeah, kind of bugging. Sister Gill, you're needed.
Mr.
Here
Gill,
that's been doing, here that's been on, right?
How about that?
Mr. Gilliam. Mr. Gilmeister.
Gotta get myself down.
Yeah, so what's true, what's actually not.
Yeah. Not really there, but I found it.
Oh, no.
They just.
So it's the definition. In that last sentence, there.
Oh, go to my show.
Double bonds.
No.
So in an isosceles trapezoid, it's really, I guess it's kind of the other way around. In fact, just like, is what makes it.
Not really.
It's so, what's true.
Not teaching others, I teach us. That's That's so gross.
Not.
Good, because I'm gonna walk.
What is wrong with this?
Stay out of my.
Not well.
Really a lot.
I know.
I just,
How to be able to identify the living girl.
I did 6 through 10.
I mean, first of all, you should be able to look at it and kind of see what's going on. Probably the same thing as.
Oh, the.
What's the way we said, we know the legs, or the way we said, they are not.
The tolerance of.
There's actually two things. One is they're not this order, or eventually they will. Bisect, or like so bisect. And say, well, then you're,
He just.
it kind of sounds like.
That's good.
Mr. Dawson, because there's crazy in that, like, actually, it's actually.
So again, this is my, well, you have to know it's isosceles triangle. If I take the legs, let me see if I can do this. Yeah.
What?
The legs will eventually intersect. If I continue them on, that's where you were getting bisect from, I think. I continue the sides forever. Eventually, the legs intersect. If I continue these sides forever, assuming I do it correctly. I didn't straighten that one out, so I didn't want to. Hold on.
It's mixed up, it's big. Mixed up, it's on.
Those don't, they don't, they're parallel. Like parallel lines will never connect.
Mixed up.
So the parallel lines are the basics. The lines that are not parallel, that's what I try to use, that are not parallel. Those are the legs.
The legs
And
are
then the legs are the ones that are the same.
The legs are the neon green and the.
Number.
Correct. And then the bases are the light blue. In that,
I did,
again, it's not top and bottom. Don't ever get confused with top and bottom.
I think the legs are the ones that cross over each other.
Eventually will cross.
The base is the, parallel.
And they will never touch each
I
other.
did 6 to 10. I don't know what to do.
Why? We have one.
Yes,
We sit outside.
I never do that.
Once.
Oh, that didn't work. Oh,
It's just.
well.
Okay. Look at.
Let me just say something.
I did 6 to 10, that's my favorite.
Oh, you did say that.
Yeah. Now I'm working on 2 and 3.
Make sure you get to those higher numbers, like I said, 17 and 18, you'll definitely know how to do.
Mr.
Oh my gosh.
People. really
Yeah.
was-
Oh, yeah, they have their hands up. You did.
For like 10 minutes.
Well, yes, when I was working with someone,
Yeah, stop,
constantly
stop
telling
telling
me
Stop it.
Stop.
that. What was it going to tell
I solved it, but I don't know much.
How did you grab it? I got your piles.
Cause I did it.
Oh,
but I
we're gonna do
remember.
heights in a minute.
Get your dirt.
You all just do 17, 18, trapezoid.
Trapezoids are easy. That's,
So you did, but again, I know you did. Did you do these down here?
I did.
Need
6-inch
I
diameter.
know those.
do working through that one with them.
I told you.
I know how to do it.
So
You just.
now you need to know these. You haven't done those, that's mid segment.
Can we do the kites? I forgot how to do it.
I already get it.
Yeah, we're gonna do mid segments next.
I already did that.
Yeah, well, we'll go over them and go over the answer, but I'm gonna give you a little bit more difficult one. Than probably what
Yeah, they were easy. It was just basically like what we've been doing.
Yeah.
I'll put your.
Is that what you wanted to do, David? Or do you have a question? Oh, all right.
block.
Use me, because little girl can go off me, girl. Because your shoes are on me.
Angle Q. So again, this is a, there's a way to do it.
That's the ones where they.
I swear, yeah.
What did you create? You said- So about what? You know, 2 is 3.
Like, that is in like grade
Oh,
five.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I split it down. So I'm gonna do that. I know that.
So again,
Triangle has.
what's true about the line you just drew in?
I created 2 triangles, so they have to go ahead and be. Maybe like
What specifically is true about that diagonal of the kite? Which you all- I mean, there are where? One, we said one diagonal of a kite does something and the other diagonal does something different. Okay. Are you waiting on that? All right, somebody's out when they get back. So you need to look in your notes. You should have written this down. This was the big P, or it's in probably the theorem. One diagonal, actually, this wasn't a theorem. One diagonal does something, and then we had 2 angles that are, that's a theorem. 2 opposite angles are. Okay.
No, I don't.
See if we can do kites now. I'll usually do. Questions? What's your question?
Can you come?
We're not, we're about to do kites in a minute.
Alright, give me an equation right now and I'll do it. Just to show. Just give me a random equation.
Doing an equation is not geometry. You coming up with.
Don't take
That's geometry. You want to do algebra.
Give me 2 random sides, give me 2 random letters and 2 random sides.
I say, I know what you're
And
getting
then
at.
let's take, what you have done.
Come on.
We're
You can do it. Yes. You're the-
Hey.
I will. Just say, I'm
Huge. It's
We're gonna do that in a minute. Don't worry about it. Or do you understand the? And then try 17. So this is like, I'm guessing, because they drew a diagonal, right? I understand the diagonal, just going to grow. Absolutely, which means you're probably just gonna be 17. But just make sure you understand. All right, let's go to really quickly. I kind of forgot this was in here, so I'm gonna go through it fast. This is the point where you guys. So, look, oh, actually, you don't have, so just, you're gonna have to look up at the screen. So, we did some very simple mid-segment problems. There's probably gonna be one that's not as simple on the quiz. Same exact concept,
The same stuff.
nothing changes. Oh, absolutely the same. Except it is a little bit trickier on the math. The solving, setting it up, is the exact same. Is that him again?
Like, yeah, dude.
Where's the one that I like?
Was it not the one that had all 3, the midterm and the basis?
Well, I mean, yes, but there was one specific that I liked the math on. It wasn't too hard, but it wasn't too easy.
It looks like it could, but.
Where is it? Shoot. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was in a different worksheet. I may have to make one up then. Oh, here we go. No, I don't like. Oh, it's over there. Number 12. Look at number 12. I want you to try to do that.
Actually, I want one of these.
That is not the same one from the paper.
I know, right? The ones on the paper are easier. So I'm expecting you to know how to do those. This one you need to try. Oh, solve for X.
They have it on the paper.
Oh, okay.
55.
No, this one's not in your pages.
No, but it's similar to what we have. It's.
Not the math. Setup, yeah, the setup's the exact same.
Yeah.
And the math's a little tricky.
I think, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's not, again, it's not any different than what we did as far as setting it up. It's the exact same thing. There's a formula we learned, an equation, a formula. You write that formula all out in words, then just plug in the pieces you know. Then solving in this is a little trickier than what we did. X, yeah, X. We'll talk about the reason why you would only really be asked to solve X.
Oh, the good 7 is 29. So we only have to find the difference, or it's not about that?
There's two ways to do it. I'll let you try to figure out which way you want to do it. We'll go over.
You can put it in
we'll go
the
over.
equation.
You can use the equation for sure.
It's a.
And there's a way that's a little more intuitive, like you really, really understand stuff. There's a way that's a little shorter to do it. But you gotta really understand it to do it that way. I'll give you a hint. If you can't find it, you're totally lost. I'm just giving the formula. That stands for base 1,
Base 2 divided by
base 2. So that was the formula we learned.
Basically, that's basically how you got $20, basically.
So in this case, they've given you different information than the really easy problem where they would have given you the two bases and you would be solving for that. That's the easy problem. This one's a little bit different.
Could I just put it into equation?
I gave you the equation, you plug stuff in, and then you gotta know how to solve. That's the trick.
Can't you, wait, you can't combine on this? Like combine like terms?
On this problem?
Because 11.
Yeah, you will have to combine very simple like terms. Yeah, technically like terms.
Oh, you're probably laughing.
Actually.
I'll give you another minute.
That's what I thought. I had the right equation, so I just like.
What's your question?
Like, how are we supposed to set this thing up?
Like that.
Oh, sharp.
That equation that I got, that's literally exactly the problem. That's how I would do it.
52 minus 2, no.
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, that one in there. Like, yeah, sorry, it's A.
What's the answer? Exactly.
Wait,
Now you're not even doing it in your head.
okay.
Oh, you know what? No, I'm
Like,
not
for
right.
sake.
You got the pressure, you would say everything. That's what I thought. but when-
I forgot.
Does it come out to be equal?
You have to get rid of that flat.
You mean like an integer, like no decimal?
Yeah.
I believe it does. Don't ask.
It's divided by.
Now you.
Oh.
Mhm.
What are we
So you should try.
so dumb?
That's it. That's the length of that side.
Is this right so far?
Those two represent. The length of that, well, the bottom, there's two bases, right? So the bottom base. So it's one of the two bases in the formula. Wherever you plug it in, that was it.
You.
Things right now, let's try to write it in plug. You understand not the length of the base, you go right.
My baby, I swear, it's like this, like he. That's what it's. Is this right so far? On that?
I am, it's highly doubtful. Now, I'm making the cardinal mistake, you need degrees and we'll go.
You can't do that.
What do you think he's about to do?
No, I don't.
Do I just ignore this first?
Can't ignore it, but we want to get rid of it. How would we get rid of it?
Oh, we can't.
There you go.
I put this shit.
What's that represent?
I don't even know what that was.
Oh, wait.
11 plus 2 represent.
Wait,
Is the
okay, so
the length of the base.
I got the.
And we know the length of the top. And we also know the length of the left.
I told you, it's just like.
So like the mid segment, so you plug in all those things. Now you'll have a variable in this part up
What do
here.
you mean by plugging?
That's what we're gonna wind up trying to solve.
We mean plug them all.
What's the length of the mid segment? What's the length of the mid segment? Well, yeah. Instead of 2?
I mean, you just did the steps out of.
Well, no, 2 is part of the formula.
Yeah, that's.
29 was there.
Yeah.
Put 29.
Oh.
I'll do that as so wrong.
Have an answer? Give me your answer.
What the heck?
Correct. Still have a question?
I got 35. That's not.
That is wrong. Very, very wrong. Something wrong. Very, very wrong.
Oh, you just did the stuff out of base. It's base 1 is 23 and base 2.
No, that's, no, that's equally.
Do it. It can be I should.
So then I equals the two bases added together. Over.
Will never be a base.
Yeah, so now you have to know how to do the algebra. You need to get rid of the x.
I see it, but like.
And then you're gonna need to get rid of the 11, and there'll be another number that comes out. So they can, what can you do with 23 and 2? Well, what can we do with the 23 and 2? Right, I mean, we showed that's more step. If you have 23, 22, what do you know that way? So just change that to 11x plus 25. Then how would we get rid of the 2 on the 5? We're already divided. We wouldn't want to divide again. We do opposite math. What's the opposite of dividing? That's what we do. And then if we do it on one side to get rid of the 2, we gotta do it on the other side to keep the thing balanced. At the door. Oh, that is. We put the decimal there. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna show you 2 ways to do this. Let me go through it really quickly. If you're working, you can keep working or watch me, but just whisper if you're gonna keep working. All right. We can always use the equation. Never ever gonna go wrong if you can memorize it correctly, which you can just look at it real quick right before class. What is the length of the midsegment? Oh, I did write 29 for that. What is one of the bases? The length of one of the bases. One of them is 11x plus 2, right? That is the length. I mean, if you gotta do our thing of circling, circle it. And then what's the other base? So we write 23.
Divided by 2.
And then 2 is just part of the equation. Now you have to do algebra. This is not geometry anymore. Now it's an algebra problem. I can do a couple of things really at the beginning, so there's really no specific first step. What do you think you do first?
You can put the bottom.
We got to get x by itself, so the first thing is the 2 has got to go. So if we're dividing in the equation, in the formula, then we need to multiply opposite math to get rid of it. Well, if I do it on one side, I got to do it on the other side. So I get 50. I'm going to have to start writing a little smaller to make sure this is all on the screen. So that gives me now the 11x plus 2 plus 23. Now what? I would combine them. Some people will just say, well, I need to get rid of the 2 and the 23, and they'll just subtract them individually. That works too. You could say subtract 2, subtract 2, subtract 23, subtract 23. I don't care how you do it, just show your work. I'm going to rewrite it as 11x plus 25. Now I say, okay, well, I'm going to subtract 25 all at once. 33 equals 11x. So what's my last step? Now I divide by 11. But you should have gotten x equals 3 if you divide it by 11. So that's one way to do it. Now let's talk about a concept way. Some of you are pretty good with the concepts, and this is shorter.
I'm good. I'm just like.
What is true about a mid-segment length relative to the length of the short base and the long base? I did the other one. What's true about it? The length of the mid segment is what? I mean, what's this formula really doing? We said. What is that formula really doing? We drew in some things. I'll give you a hint. I did that. Why did I do that? Coloring book.
Find the distance.
We said, and I'll just kind of cut to what I was saying before. The length of the mid segment is right in the middle of the other two lengths. So it is the same. The length is the same. We said same distance away. That's not the right way to say it, but whatever this length is, it is that much longer than 23 and that much shorter than the big base. It's got to be right in the middle. So I don't know. I should try to come up with it. Trust me. Because otherwise, if I say it's the same distance away, you're thinking how far it is here. That's not right. But so whatever, if this is 23, how much longer is this one? It's longer, right? I just think 29 subtracts
The other
23.
day.
So
Forgot about that.
what's got to be true? And again, ignore this for now. What's got to be true about ZW? It has to be what? 6 longer than 29, right? So what's the length of it gotta be? Yeah, we just add 6 to that, so ZW has to be 35. But what do we know that ZW also is, the length? Huh?
Wait, what was it again?
What do we also know about the length of ZW? Yeah, this is the length. Remember, that is the length. So if I know the length is the number 35, well, that should be ZW. But I also know the length is that, then 11x plus 2 has to be 35.
Wait, so do we even have to be?
Absolutely not.
Well, I'm gonna do it because
If you understand, again, a lot of people just like, hey, I can memorize that and plug stuff in and solve. I'm doing it that way. A lot of people like, wait, that is way faster, but you've got to understand how to go through that process and create the correct, because here's the risk that you take doing it the intuition way or the intuitive way. You mess up the intuitive way, you probably don't get any partial credit. Here, if you memorize something and plug it in, you're probably gonna get some partial credit, even if you make a mistake somewhere along the way. So I don't care how you do it, but either way works.
So,
Let's go to kites. Kites does have a lot of stuff. We didn't spend a lot of time on it, but there's a lot of math you can do in kites. What? When I go backwards? What's that?
So how many of these are gonna be on the actual exhibition?
Oh, totally forgot to hand that sheet out. Dadgummit. There's a sheet that I printed out that has a whole bunch of like a summary of everything we've done, concepts at least. I say it again because I didn't understand the question. Oh, here we go. All right. So I don't know how many. I don't think we did many in this class. I think we only did 2.
we did one.
I'm sorry, 1. So try to do that one. If you can't see it, I'll zoom in. You can just do it on your notepad where you can find it in the book. It was the check problem after the one that we did. So try to do that. There's a couple of different ways to do it. I don't care which way you do it. I don't know. 53, 54. It was example 1, the check problem for example 1. No, I'm sorry, example 6. I take it back. Example 6, and then the check problem right after that. Find it.
Yeah, can I just do
What
it?
page?
What, this is 52.
All right, page 53. So it's the check problem after example 6. We did example 6. So it's exactly like what we did. Well, I mean, you're supposed to. Clearly, you're not. Clearly, you're not.
Yeah. It's not that far.
I
I thought it was.
I gave this one super easy. I gave you a minute. Didn't take long on this one at all. Because we gotta do the next one, which is a little tougher. Actually, a lot tougher.
You know what I did?
That question?
This whole.
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. Let's see. There's two ways to do it. Which way would be easier?
Split it down the middle.
I can, because what's true if I split it down the middle? What does that do?
Yeah.
Well, but how does that help? What would you do with that? Which equation? Because there's two equations where you do that same thing in both of them. So I'm trying to figure out which way you do it. Yeah, or that's what we want in. But you only have to find out. But how would you do it? What concepts are you using when you split it in two triangles?
Let's see what the.
Each triangle, so the total,
So
because again, you have two triangles, so the total. So if you do it that way, then you can create an equation using that number. So there's another way I'm gonna show you too, using one of the concepts of and we're just gonna kind of base it down because of the review of technique.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But it's got the same.
Oh, there they are. So good. I forgot to copy on different color paper. What's a little trickier. We have 30 more seconds and you should be done with this one. This is not a super complex one.
Not actually.
Get it?
Never seen.
That's just pretty good. I mean, pretty easy. I feel like we would expect it. Again. I didn't solve it out. I totally forgot. I didn't even solve it out myself.
Oh,
Let's see. Let me do it real quick. I am right now. So that would be that, which would mean that would be that. Yes, I believe that's what you're saying. I could tell the first number. That's definitely the right first number. That's correct. That is correct. All right, let's do this one. So there's two ways to do it. One, again, it's kind of like the last problem. One's the more intuitive way, or I'm sorry, one's more like, well, yeah, I'd say that's the more intuitive way. Something we learned before, basically, we use. Then there's one that's a little, it's not specific theorems, but it is true the way we're gonna do it. So what's true about this figure? If it's a kite, what do we know? Kind of your review also. It told you some stuff you know. So these are congruent. There's one pair of angles that's not congruent. I'm sorry, opposite angles that is not, which we can clearly see G and J are not. And there's one pair that is congruent. So F and H have to be the pair that's congruent. That part you really just have to figure out. There's no like set rule to tell you which ones are congruent. You just have to be able to say, well, I can tell those are not, so that means those are.
There's same degrees that we need to get, so the X would be 2X.
So we can make those variables, right? This is what Logan's saying. We can make those variables because they have to be the same number. They're congruent and we don't know them, so they're unknown, so we just make it an X. Really quickly as a review, don't forget, because this comes up in the next problem. Those are congruent in a kite. The adjacent connecting side, whatever you want to call them, those are congruent.
Yeah.
The diagonals do what? I'm not going to draw them in. We don't need them in this problem, but we will in the next one. Diagonals do what in a kite? Yes, the diagonals are perpendicular, which means we would form a right angle in here. If we drew in the two diagonals, that's gonna come and play in the next problem. That we'll just stop there. There's other stuff that's true, but we'll do it in the next one. So with that in mind, that information we have, I'm gonna do what I like to tell you to do. Actually here, I don't need that.
Put it down.
I'm actually not gonna split it in. There's a way to do it that, not right now. I'm gonna do that in a minute. We are gonna circle the angle. Did remember.
Oh, it makes me agree.
So those are the angles. What do we know about the angles of a four-sided figure? So now you just take everything that's in your circles. I can't fix it. Just trying to think of a way to fix it. I cannot. That's an angle, that's an angle, that's an angle. I've got four circles there, and well, I'm just going through the process. And if there would have been more stuff in the circles, that's when people miss stuff. So I have four angles there. I have four angles there. Now you're just doing the algebra part. So you should have gotten to there. Subtract 200, subtract 200. 2x equals 160. Divide by 2, and you get 80.
Yeah.
So 80 was the answer to that. So if you didn't get that, you can ask me. I think once you get to that part, you guys should be able to do a two-step equation. We need to try this one though, because this is the tough one.
Yeah.
All right, so now there's the example 7, so it should have been right after that check problem. Maybe not on the same page.
Oh, it's the best.
All right, now we get this. What's first thing you notice in this?
There's the sides.
There's more stuff, first of all, right? No degree symbol, so it's about lengths of sides.
Is there something in this?
What else is drawn in that wasn't drawn into the last one?
Yeah.
So how'd we get E? What did we draw in to get E? We drew the diagonals in. What did we say about diagonals?
I don't remember.
Literally just said it 2 minutes ago. They are perpendicular. And there you go. So we said before, when you see triangles and right angles in those triangles, and when it's about lengths of segments, lengths of sides, you have to know it's going to be about this. I thought I heard it, but I checked twice and no reason. So that's how you figure out the length of side. Did I get you? That's how you figure out the length of sides when you got a bunch of right triangles. And I'll tell you one more thing. Actually, I'll tell you now. Don't forget our perpendicular bisector lesson, because that's really where all this comes from. If we have a line segment, so AC, that diagonal is really just a line segment from A to C. If we draw in a line at a perpendicular angle, so 90 degrees, and if we know these sides are the same distance from A and C, like basically point B is the same distance from A as it is from C, we said every point on that perpendicular bisector is the same distance from A and C. That's why there's a 12 and a 12. This point E is the same distance from A as it is from C. This point D is the same distance from A as it is from C. That was our perpendicular bisector lesson. So all that stuff comes back up again. So again, the more you can retain and remember from that and understand from that, the less you just have to memorize for this new lesson. Now, what in the world do we do? We want this. Well, now we're gonna go over it. Does anybody know?
I do.
Anybody at all know? Anybody in here that thinks they know? Nobody? Nobody knows. Patricia, do you think you know? I'm glad somebody knows. What do you think?
You can fucking change your
I'm glad somebody knows this video.
I am too. That is a right triangle. If I know two of the three sides of a right triangle, I can solve for the third. Now you got to figure out where the A, B, and C need to go. How do we figure out, really all you need is C. How do we figure out where C goes?
It's gonna be that.
It is the hypotenuse. And how do we figure out where it is in the triangle, which side? That's the easiest way to me. Just find the right angle and just draw an arrow across.
Oh,
That is always C. No exception. So that's a no exception there. So the side we want to find is C. So we are going to be plugging in. Doesn't matter which one you make A, which one you make B, because you're just ultimately adding them together into the same number anyway. So now try to solve it. And keep in mind, if I have a 12 and a 24, and this side is the longest side, it's going to be a little bigger than 24. Not a gigantic number, but certainly a little bigger than 24. So try to plug, now you're just plugging numbers into a phone. Something else we went over in the last, somebody brought something up and it was kind of a good observation, but I can't remember what it was.
I can't either.
I know, right? I know we talked about the perpendicular bisector. What did he say? Oh,
But it's, it's 26.
they didn't say this, but I'm gonna tell you something else in a minute, just to remind you of something we learned along the way. Let's keep trying to work on that, then we'll go over a couple other things, and then we'll do the exit ticket.
I looked, so they just picked it with them.
Length of the legs of it. I saw the sleeve trap.
What was it? You get up before?
Yeah, that's what we did today. And last night.
What page is that?
Don't recall. All right, so quickly, A and B, we got to get the exit ticket, so I'm just going to kind of do it faster. So that would be A and B. You could have had them flipped. It doesn't matter because you're going to wind up getting the same numbers. 144 plus, what is it, 576. So 720, I believe, if I remember from last class, is C squared. Is 720 the answer?
Yes.
No way in the world, right? If I got a 12 and a 24, no way that other side's 720. You got to remember to take the square root because we don't want C squared, we want C. That's what the side is, just C. So square root of 72 is what? 26.8 or something like that. Really quickly, don't forget about these congruent marks. That means we know that's 26.8 because I think perimeter is a question we could have solved for this top side also. Those are also right triangles. Just as a, not really reminder, they are also a bunch of isosceles triangles. If these two sides are the same length, these two angles are the same measure. If these two sides are the same length, these two angles are the same measure. So there's a lot of stuff in kites I can do. So make sure you do all those kite
Can we
problems.
talk about this?
I'm good. Yeah, I think it was the first thing we did. That side equals that side. Where it says equals 11, x equals 11 or something like that. All right, I mean, so like by the time I finished passing it out, people were finished already. Big for that. You get that.
Yeah.
You get that. You remember that. Oh, wait, you don't get that. Just say take the number and multiply it by 9.
You gotta do your stuff.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, the one where she's going on, she's saying like that.
No, it's
That one.
she's in two girl.
Yes, that woman. Blonde one or the blonde?
The blonde one.
Something Chan.
What is that number?
Like.
You're Susan.
You know what we're talking about, like the lady that's like. She has like a really weird accent.
Oh my god. I did the cool age. That was a good impression.
So why do you work like that?
Three.
The Lord.
Is this the one that you do mixture four sides with? 4 minus 2 180.
It's just two sides you can. You gotta figure out which two.
Oh, that's all you're doing?
Act on there. I told you. Let everyone fight. There, that one. That one. So, there, that one. You can do that. Yeah, you guys move around. Peters. Cheaters. I know you cheated something. No doubt in my mind you cheated me.
I've cheated chemistry and then I failed.
Practically any student.
I cheated this year.
We're gonna do.
So
I
that
have students tell me all the time, I cheated off this person. No, they cheated off me. I let them cheat off me. They got a better grade than me.
I thought you said it was double sided.
No, I.
I love it. I love it. What to do? I didn't know.
Oh, sorry.
I can't talk like. Seven. But that type is. It's, you know. There are different versions that show from one get so that's just like. Well, because I just need to know which version you have. I think you got the other ones. Go. Go. Hey, let me get all, if everything, I can get all these picked up, because it's gonna happen fast. Which one are you doing? I can be getting. Oh, God.
I didn't like that.
I don't even want to teach you. It's just a bunch of different things.
What?
I mean, there are things problems. Are you done?
No,
What?
overthinking is like.
It's like, it's just, it's super easy.
Does that mean?
I think it's like about as easy as you've done in this class all year long. That's how you did it. Are you sure?
Any have to, it's just like.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, not difficult now.
Answer the door.
I think some.
That was something there. I was over there. I see it.
You saw it out.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, sometimes people will like, I'll hear somebody knock on a desk or something and I'll think it's the door.
No, I shouldn't.
Oh, did I change it? Like I say, it's February 1st. I gotta change the birthdays. Oh, it's still recording here. So you got to sing. Yeah, so you know you're supporting, because
Sing one.
I'm sure you're good.
Chelsea, sing.
Sing, let it go.
Let it go.
I did a sing along when I taught 7th grade. We did a sing along. And they got me really good for about 30 seconds. And then they tried to sing louder and louder over each other. And by the end of it,
I can sing really good.
here you go.
Don't look at me like that. I can do it off. I do it. I'm good. Not talking about it.
Oh, wait, let me decide. Wait, I'm done.
Yeah.
Done. I figured it out.
Okay.
I remember when we were doing like a fight call.
And then.
That video defender is not wrong.
What?
I'm telling her what to do. Like out loud. I'm not standing right here.
Mr. Gill, can you guys talk?
The website.
What's it?
You know,
I don't know. I'm not gonna do it.
Here, I think, yeah.
Stop talking about it. Stop talking about
Oh.
Like literally, you're talking out loud
Wait,
right
wait.
next to you. I know what you're doing. Not stupid.
All right, now.
If this keeps going, then tickets are gonna get more and more difficult if you're gonna be sharing information. Then don't share information with other people. It's gonna hurt you in the long run.
Sometimes we don't.
Yes, but you're talking about a problem which is working right. Come on, you're not done. You're not.
They should stop listening.
Don't think, yeah, right. Yeah. Just don't do it. You're gonna find the exit tickets aren't a free point at all. I had to make it easy, but again, right now.
I don't want to sing a song to you. Jesus. You can say that. I usually skip on the same, but.
I put it back right now.
What flavor is it?
You normally do.
Yeah.
There's not as many of the, like, I know nobody works at home. I don't know why you guys don't call me.
In my first, I tried to really.
Maybe somebody's scared, so we don't grab it.
Taste of that. This way,
Oh.
it's really. This one I have to open up right now. Did you low key leak?
Lordy, lordy, lordy. Should be able to. How long is it? The box.
It's like last Friday.
Did you low key speaking?
And she'll get it. And like, I just didn't put the mail, and I sort of obviously didn't like it, and I didn't know again recently.
Logan, what are you doing? It's not that hard.
You struggled.
Like literally by the time I finish passing them out, you know, whatever.
I know.
Yeah, I think you're overthinking it. Because if you're thinking that hard, it's
Know it, and then, like, I'm like, oh, no, that's not.
even the outfit of it.
Here for the guns.
And I just go like.
Wait, can you come back?
Oh,
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember like.
That's what the guy saw. Oh, you see the iron club?
How long?
Yeah, I don't know. Bell can't be far. Oh, actually, shoot, I missed that by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got like. And the timer's already done.
That's his.
You were working better, you don't want to. You really sound like something.
I really.
Yes.
Understand, you were here last class, like I man, you guys about like white thing, and I said you were still doing it.
Oh, what were you? I said mine's over here.
Oh, I might have seen some of those, right? I don't even know. That's standard.
I appreciate it.
It really makes you sad. I think, I know it's all.
Yeah. I just can't get into that.
That's like the easiest thing in the world.
Too simple.
Yeah, right.
Well, there you have it.
Pretty.
Everyone harder. Everyone's harder to figure it out.
Believe me, I don't like it either. Get it.
Watch it like that.
Get it, Buzz.
Oh, it's a link.
I mean, that was my plan. I was gonna get Buzz. I completely understand.
If you're not showing work and you get the right answer, I'm still gonna be marking these wrong.
I tried doing 360 first, and then I put some.
Yeah.
Little break. So.
There's too many people sharing information on easy problems, so I'll make them harder in the future and I'll be harder on the grading. So if you're sharing information, you can hurt yourself.
Yeah, can we not talk about it now? That we're done?
We're done.
Like, can we talk about it now or no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you know, I mean, like literally people talking right during the thing, right next to people working. I'm sorry,
Well-
say it again, which one?
The-
Oh, yeah, the hard ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get started now.
I'm stuck with those.
Are you taking it?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What?
Or the one from before break?
No.
Yeah, she's doing the one from before break.
Hey, go back one.
I will stop.
Say my favorite.
I think people are.
Can you tell me how?
Oh, for that?
Yeah, can you tell me actually?
Yeah, I think they're over here. Have them write whatever you do, time, you only need 30 minutes per whatever the grade, even for the one from before break.
How are people getting 32? 32. That's the exact, okay.
Well, yeah, there's two versions, but they shouldn't all be 32.
Oh, wait, they're all 32. No, like all the ones,
Not all
that I did, the ones that I did. They're the one that I did.
Because there's this.
Wait, so I did
a lot of
right?
people had that same version.
Wait,
Should I do it right?
That's
Oh,
all it was.
bro.
They're equal to each other.
Wait, hold on. I had it in order.
Well, I'm putting them in alphabetical order. I don't put them by please. Yeah. Because I put them in order for, put them in the focus stuff. Well, it's not an extra point, it's a 1 out of 1. So just make sure you include a point on your, what the total points you have, but there's also a point that goes into the total possible. So it's not extra credit. Like, extra credit would mean I only added 1 into the points you have, I don't change the total possible. We'll go over it. Oh, yeah. Where is that one? I can make another version of that. Is. That one? I think. Oh, yeah, you said you had to take it, you're just going to take it from tomorrow. Go ahead and get your papers out. Like I said, today and tomorrow are just practice days, and then we'll do the exit ticket at the end of tomorrow. There's no. Oh, yeah, let's do it today. We'll do it today. Yeah, there's no reason, because we're gonna review that today, so it'd be better to do it today instead of reviewing it today. And that's the first one. Yeah, we'll just get the exit ticket out.
hey, you make those better. Oh, man.
No, we don't play with that. That's not a bouncy softball. You're just gonna have to not shoot today.
No, but I bought them years ago, like years ago. Freshman year. Freshman year was there.
It's still going, it's still
I think I was going to over. Like a midlife crisis.
Where you are 17.
I know, it's like halfway to like, I don't know, 15. Semi-life crisis.
But you're not even that corner yet.
I don't know.
son of a gun.
You were just going to see my today.
Oh my God.
Or calls are here. That's so dumb.
Position practice.
This is review for the exit ticket as well. And then we'll just do some practice.
Let's get some today on Friday.
Yeah, we're doing the review today of what is on the exit ticket, like first, so we might as well do the exit ticket. Few people struggled last time, way more people than I expected struggled with it. And they actually were sharing some information, which we'll have that conversation here as well. Look who's here on time today.
Bro, why did this man see both of us?
Oh, yeah. So it's said that.
Back in Crystal Dive. I mean,
I feel like.
what did you say? That's why you.
Did he break the leg? What do you mean, leg?
Like, what do you mean? If you break it, son.
Have you seen this?
I just said yes.
Guess what?
What you just said.
Yeah.
There's one batch there.
Look at me, look at me, look at me. Oh, yeah, I was doing that. I was feeling bad when you get one of these.
Have you heard that? Is there a condition called vertigo? No, I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, a lot of
You
people-
see? Yeah, like, look at me.
I don't know, but it's a big.
Thank you. Well, you know.
Like, this is a double.
Bear? Oh, there's bear.
Yeah.
What was that in? What did you do that in?
Last period.
That's like something you do in math. You get art? Art class?
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
All right, get settled in. This is, we're doing what's the review for your eggs opinion first, so.
I know, I'm like, I choose not to change.
Okay.
Pass.
There you go. All right. I'm going fast, so you miss it, you miss it. We did trapezoids first, and we said just a normal trapezoid where you just have two parallel lines. There's not a ton of math you're gonna be able to do, other than the fact that all the angles would have to add up to 360 degrees, because it's got four sides. But we said if it's an isosceles trapezoid, so if they tell you the two legs are congruent, and they would have to tell you it's a trapezoid, or they would have to tell you that you have two parallel sides. Either one is all you need. Now there's a lot of math you can do. There's a lot of things that are true, and those were the theorems up above that we went over. If we know, so if I tell you it's an isosceles trapezoid and there's no markings, you need to be able to fill in these markings saying what? What are those called? Well, so what are the parallel ones called? The bases. What are the ones that are not parallel called? The legs. It is the legs of an isosceles trapezoid that are congruent, that have the same length, same measure. That I told you was going to be right. So if you had equations that said, well, the length of this leg is 3x plus 11. The length of this leg is 7x subtract 21. And we said, okay, well, doesn't matter that there's a bunch of variables and numbers and stuff in those and that they look totally different. They are the same length. That's the definition of an isosceles trapezoid. The legs are the same length. So if the legs are equal, and I know what's in the circles are the lengths of the legs. It's supposed to be an X, yeah, I wrote it sideways. 3x plus 11 at the bottom. Then I just changed those words saying these sides are equal. Well, that's one of the sides. That's one of the sides, and they're equal. I just changed that into, like I said, you can write it in words, say it in words, change those words into the expressions, the variables, the numbers, the equal sign, everything. And then you solve that. The math is super easy on the quiz. Don't overthink it. A lot of kids, I think, were thinking it was. Now there's You gotta know which sides are the legs, that's the big part. So again, how do I identify the legs if there's no markings telling you what's congruent? What do we say? There's like, because again, some people are visual, it's easy, some people struggle a little bit. The bases are parallel, the legs are not, we said, but what did we say was another thing you could do that would show you for sure that they were the legs? We said if you continue the side out of all the sides, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna twist it. Yeah, I can do that. I'm gonna turn it back this way. Not that I needed to, I just need a little more room. Do this. Oh, actually, I'll zoom out. That'll make it. Okay, let's do that. So we said if I take, oh boy, oh, these didn't move with it. That's fine. If I take the sides of a trapezoid and I extend them out forever, I have blues. So there, extend that side out. I can probably, let's try this. Oh, it did straighten out. I extend that out forever. They don't touch. Again, it's not perfectly straight, but they don't touch, right? I mean, again, you just have to assume that if they're not getting close to each other, you have to assume I didn't draw perfect lines. Let's extend these out. Again, this is a little trickier. I extend those out. Those touch. The legs are the ones that would eventually intersect, eventually touch. The bases are the ones that will never, because they're parallel. They're parallel, they're never going to touch. So that's one way to follow that one. It didn't straighten that. I actually drew two lines on this. So that's one way to find it. If you're just visual, you can just say, well, I can tell those are not parallel. That's fine. I'm just doing that because some people are not quite as visual. Now the two that are the ones that will eventually touch are the two that are equal. You set that equal and solve for them. Any questions on that? For Monday, what else is true about it? Trapezoid. Let's go through really quickly for Monday stuff. So I tell you that's an isosceles trapezoid. What else is true? We just said one thing, the legs are congruent. That's true. So diagonal, that's the third one, the trickier one. You see it right there. I don't know if that's where you got it up. The diagonals are congruent. Now, we don't have bisectors. So you can't say the diagonals bisect each other like in parallelograms. So there's really not tons of math you can do with it, other than just if they tell you what the measures are of the diagonals, you just set them equal to each other, kind of like the same thing we just did for the leg. That's about the only math you can really do. Those. What else is congruent? Got to look at the theorems right above. I mean, you can't see my mind. It should be on page 40. We just did diagonals. Page 40, what? 7. Yeah. So say it again. So remember, we have what we call base angles. So it's basically the angles at the ends of each bases. Those are congruent. So those two at the bottom are congruent, and it doesn't have to be top and bottom. Don't think that. Because that's why that figure was turned originally when I showed it to you at first, to show that it doesn't have to be top and bottom angles that are congruent. The two base angles are congruent, and then the other two base angles. So we know those are congruent as well. Now, one thing that I think I probably told you a piece of it, but I'm going to tell you another piece of it. Even though this is not a parallelogram, and this is a theorem for parallelograms, it is still true with this. You can just put it up here. We said, I think yesterday, that the opposite angles would add up to 180. We did not say this. I think I may have told you it actually didn't work, but it does. Those two angles also have to add up to 1. So consecutive angles do actually add, even though it's not a theorem, like they didn't tell us that, and we can't use the theorems for parallelograms, which did tell us that, because it is not a parallelogram. I'm surprised they don't, I mean, they love creating theorems that you don't need, but I'm surprised that's not a theorem for this too, that consecutive angles are add up to 180 or opposite angles add up to 180, something like that. But it's not, I mean, not at least in this book. But it is true. Have to add up to 180 because of that whole, I think we did it before, but if I'm adding, let's just use easy numbers. If I have X and X, and then this is 110, and then that's 110. And we said, well, X plus 110 plus 110 has to equal 360, because again, that's one of the ways you saw these. The four angles have to add up to 360. We just circle what's in all four angles, 110, 110, X, X. Well, we add all four of those up, X, X, 110, 110. We did this the other day, so I'm going fast. I'm still recording it. It's not 50. That has to add up to 360. But if we wrote this in a different way and we split the X's up and paired them up with one of the numbers, and then plus X plus 110. So now I'm using either side angles that are on the same side, X and 110 are on the same side, or opposite angles. I could be using the X and the 110 that's opposite. What has to be, what's going to be true about X and 110? X plus 110. Well, it's got to be the same number here and here, right? So if it's the same number there and there, then X plus 110 has to be 180. So I'm fine with you using that concept. Again, if you don't get it, be careful, because try to use something that you don't truly understand. That's when you guys can make mistakes. So if you understand how we get to that, just use that. If you understand why X plus 110 is 180, then use it, but don't confuse yourself and use something you're not comfortable with. It's not one. There's not a theorem that says that the statement that is true is that that has to be 180, right? Because I have to get to 360. And this has to be the same number, right? Because I got to get to 360, and X plus 10 and X plus 10 has to be the same because it's the same equation. Well, if that's the case, then both of the, this has to add up to 180. So you can say opposite angles for a trapezoid add up to 180, consecutive angles add up to 180. All that will be true. I'm fine if you use it, just make sure you get it right. Any questions on trapezoid? That's all we're doing for that. Go ahead, I'm gonna give you a little while to practice. If you want to focus on the exit ticket stuff, again, that's in an isosceles trapezoid, the legs are congruent. You can find some practice problems. I have some I'll put up for you. Check on my, I found a few extra because there weren't a ton. We'll do mid segment next, but I'll let you practice. Here's the. Oh yeah, somebody out from the elevator. No, they were taking a quiz.
Oh.
I don't think even know. I don't write in there, so promise you don't. Try to go to the other end of the mall, they normally don't. Here. Ah. Oh, is kindergarten back in session? I almost said something about it earlier and I didn't. All right. Well, those are super easy. Let's make it a little trickier. I have something. What are you writing on? Oh, you got one? All right. Not that. All right, here we go. Do 13, 14, and 15. Now, those are not about the leg being congruent. So you can practice those in your book in a minute, but those are pretty good ones to practice for Monday. 14 and 15 are pretty much the same problem. Different math. So try those. And then we'll do mid segment, and then I'll let you practice maybe a problem or two for the activity. These are not in your book, so don't look for them in your book pages. Don't know why that thing's in there. There you go. Get sucked into the little. Don't get sucked into the kindergarten. Yeah, I'm gonna create one of these. We just put it on. I'm just making up a problem. These are not pages. If you want to do pages, you can. It's page 55, 1A, 1B, 2, 3, 6 through 10.
I wasn't here because I was here to yesterday. Because
I don't remember when you got there. You sure?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
out there.
because I have a little pack. Oh,
I mean, that's the concept you need to know.
I know.
I don't know what problem we come up with. Yeah, you're just solving for X and all of those. Thank you. So we're doing problems on the board. They're not in your pages. This is a worksheet I found. So there's not a ton of them problem. I didn't turn it. This is the problem right here. You just gotta copy it.
But I. You. Yo, so I don't mind. Set up. Oh, yeah. Mr. Gill, thing is in.
It's been like an egg part.
I don't think I can look at them, so if you got them, practice that.
If you want that.
Oh, I think it is pretty easy. Although I'm just saying. It's not, no, I'll show you the other edge because I didn't. Well, I'm gonna have a little talk with you guys, and I might start making them difficult. What happened in the last class and a little in second period happens in all the classes, and I'll fix it. I'm not gonna like that. So it'd be like, number one, it says prove X equals A, which really just means when you solve for X, you get. Well, then, I saw that part. Math goes. I was like, well, that part is.
I felt it.
Okay. Yeah, 10. Right? Oh, yeah.
So either. No. Show me. It's true. What's true? We tell you. So again, all of the figures on the board, they tell you at the top, they are all isosceles trapezoids. So you would need to know that. So you'd need to know that's the case. Now that you know that, you should be able to set up a. If I tell you that, let's talk about it. We just reviewed it. What's true about isosceles trapezoids? So if you find the two legs, then it'll be the same leg. You can have information about leg. Problems. Oh, one thing real quick. What did I tell you to look for at the beginning? Pretty much all figures. What do you look for at the beginning to know if the expressions are about something? They did not do what I told you they should do. They should have put in degree symbols on these. They did not. So those are about angles. So that was confusing in the last, I didn't even notice that they had put them in. Some people in the last class said, I don't understand how to solve it, and this is about, which is a good comment. That shows me they're paying attention.
Hey, how about number 14? Do the same thing as 13, right? Just do the same thing, right?
No. No. Again, what is true, then there's nothing about, right, so there's everything degrees in what you're talking about. So nothing about, even though we know that the arches, there's nothing about. What do we know about the angles?
14.
It's about angles. I have to go for that one. I need to get my shit together before I can help you.
Again, I can change the question on the quiz, you know, how to do that. You need to understand these things and then apply it in whatever problem you
The
get.
base.
What's true about?
No,
Right
right here.
Yeah.
And see.
Let's look.
That's a,
Base
look, yeah,
angles are.
Look at like that, ready?
Show me which group.
Look like this, right?
Base
there you go. It's a different shape.
bigger than little.
Yes.
Tough. Well, but again,
Because you're-
so those are the base.
You was gonna say that.
Two base angles that we can in very much so right now, you need to write that note down in your own word. The angles that are at the end of the base. Well, you write, use your own word. This is the base. I got an angle at the end, because of them, on the left and the right. You say, whatever you say in your words, however you would. Whatever you would call it. Those are the ones. It's the other, if you ever know, hey, you want to jump into angles that are, again, whatever you would call that, those are the ones that are controlled. These are only congruent with each other. They're not congruent with inside that. Right? So you can put that in your own word.
Hey, no, don't touch it, bro.
I'll let it know, so this is not.
Let
like,
it, can do.
I got
Can
it.
do, it's just go man.
One day is. There, you work on that one.
Something about.
Yeah, they don't have. Oh, well.
Okay, so 14.
Yeah, there's, I don't know what that is.
Right?
Base angle that's zero.
But yeah, that's like, they're really the only one. Is what they-
You was question. You was good at
Either you can't do the algebra,
Okay.
things that is mud. So just, I want to see you set it up, and I'll come over and walk you through that. That's pretty good. That's-
Really curious.
No, I'm ready for the weekend. Actually, now, like, football started, like, I don't get home till 5:30 at least, so. And by the time I get home, I gotta get stuff ready normally for next day.
Yeah.
I hear I'm busy. Oh, I gotta do attendance. If you need to go to the bathroom, I don't know who's next, but if you need to go, the pass is in, I can let you go. Oh, dice. Maybe I did stop it. I don't remember if I stopped or not. Oh, no, I didn't.
So much.